It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. And tonight, you are catching us after a 76-66 final. Villanova getting the win over Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Hoops Showdown at the Fiserv Forum. Thanks for joining us. My name is Jay Heinrich, the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. Joined tonight by the man around here known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34. The OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, a 10-point win for Villanova, kind of a tale of two halves, and then another tale in overtime. What are your thoughts coming off of this game?
Yeah, I'll start with Villanova. Out to a strong start. Obviously, this season they're 9-2. They're absolutely outperforming expectations. I thought that with this furious comeback that Wisconsin was going to have, that Wisconsin was going to do what I think everybody kind of expected to in the second half. But Villanova kind of stayed the course there. It wasn't great second half by any means. And then in overtime, it seemed like Wisconsin obviously had a sink. Just Bryce Lindsey, bar the kind of the weird play at the very end, man, but where he gets the layup. But I mean, he was awesome in overtime, just knocking down a couple of big 3-pointers, man. And the thing is like, maybe I'm just so jaded from the Neptune era where you go from Jay Wright, you're winning national titles. And like coming into the season, you just kind of look at the roster for Villanova, and it was a late start for Kevin Willard because the whole the weird way that he left was just so weird. And here they are, man, 26 in offensive efficiency, 36 in defensive efficiency. He's basically telling his team to walk it up, try to get the best look possible. They're basically bottom 10 in the country in tempo, but they can shoot the 3-ball. They share the ball. They just got a bunch of junkyard dogs, man. Like Duke Brennan, like 13 points, 11 boards, and in 39 minutes. Like he's not in 4 assists. Like that was critical. Like they have to be able to play through him in the post. Caden Lewis with some big defensive stops there. Perkins was, didn't have a great shooting game, but I thought overall he was pretty solid. And yeah, they just don't turn the ball over either. So, you're looking at a team that takes care of it, only a 15% turnover rate. Wisconsin doubled them up in turnovers, Jay, and they just found enough plays in overtime to kind of do their thing. So I think just Kevin Willard's coaching is just – they might be the third or fourth best team in the Big East, and we're just trying to figure out who that third team or fourth bid is going to be, man. So, yeah, I just think that's been an incredible job by Kevin Willard up front.
In our chat, we were texting earlier while we were watching the game, and you mentioned how in the first half how Villanova was so locked into Willard, and they were playing the type of basketball that he would want them to play. And that really showed in that first half. The second half, quite a bit different there. And Wisconsin's first half was UGLY, they ain't got no alibi. That stuff was ugly, my friends. And a big part of that was Blackwell having 2 turnovers. That's all. The reason that I didn't say anything and that I paused was because those are the only statistics he registered in the first half, aside from the 2 fouls that he picked up. So what happens? Obviously, Nolan Winter running the offense, everything coming through him, and he didn't miss a shot until the under 8 timeout in the second half. And they needed every bit of him tonight. 9 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from deep, 11 boards, little double action there, couple of blocks, man. Like he was the guy, he is the guy, especially when Blackwell and Boyd aren't getting it going. Boyd obviously did end up with 19, got it going in the second half. But there's just nothing outside of Winter, Blackwell, and Boyd tonight. Nothing. Rhodey hit a 3 late in overtime to sort of soften up that really rigid stat line that he had working there in 37 minutes. Like it was not – they don't want to play anybody else. It was very obvious that they don't want to play anybody else. Braden Carrington was out. Obviously, that's a guy for them that would log a few minutes in that backcourt and bring a little bit of a boost for them. And that sort of showed like their lack of depth, their lack of a bench really showed tonight when you have one rotational guy that wasn't able to suit up. Yeah. I mean, Greg Gard it's something that's going to have to be looked at there as they approach, in the conference play and stuff like that too. So a
Yeah.
76-66 win for Villanova over Wisconsin. Was 8 turnovers in the first half for Wisconsin. Boyd did have 7 points in the first half, but listen, Wisconsin didn't have any bench points or free throws in the first half. They only ended up with 2 bench points the entire game.
Yeah.
And then when you look at it, they played a great second half, Mike. They played what the type of basketball that they want to play. But we were talking about it before we came on. By the time overtime hit, the legs just looked gone.
Yeah, they absolutely looked gone. I mean, you got these guys logging massive minutes. I mean, Boyd, 42 minutes, Blackwell, 38 minutes, Winter, 43 minutes. Like, these guys were tired. And Villanova, under Kevin Willard, they're going to play really good defense. Like, that's one thing that that Willard commands out of his team. So, yeah, disappointing for Wisconsin, man. You didn't get anything from Velasquez. Rhodey, you talked about just – I think I'd like him coming off the bench a little bit more. We'll see if they mess around with any rotations coming up, man. But, yeah, 2 bench points. You get out-rebound. You give up 14 offensive rebounds. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's just tough. It's going to be tough when when they're not going to turn the ball over, and Wisconsin's not a team that's going to turn you over. They're 217th in the country in forcing turnovers. So they're not a team that's built on turning you over. Villanova doesn't turn it over. Villanova shoots 35% from 3. Well, it's like, okay, but Wisconsin was on fire in the second half, 50% from 3. Where is it? Well, you give up 14 offensive rebounds, and you got doubled up in turnovers. Like that, and then the second half, and then the overtime, they just seem out of sync. Like from the first possession, when just throws it right out of bounds, like it was just a weird overtime. The first 3 possessions, you were like, oh man. Then obviously Lindsay comes down, knocking down some threes, and yeah, just the toughness from Villanova. And that's one thing that we just keep going back to it. But like Kevin Willard, man, just has really instilled a toughness. And that timeout in the first half when they showed right before they're coming back from commercial break, man, like guys were just locked in. And it's like, man, like you can tell that this team believes in each other. They believe in their coach. So, man, I'm struggling with Villanova, Jay. Like I look at the roster and I'm still like, I just don't know about this, man. But then you beat a quality team like Wisconsin, and you've got a pretty good resume so far, and the Big East is down. There's this huge matchup coming up, man, for Villanova. Like, they're playing Seton Hall, who, they're coming off, obviously, an impressive win, and they're going to be one of those teams fighting for that bid, man. So they go on the road in that matchup here coming up on Tuesday, Jay. That's going to be a massive Big East matchup. But, yeah, I just think kudos to Cade Lewis, too, for locking up Nick Boyd, kind of down the stretch, because he only shot 7 of 17 from the field. So, you can kind of live with that. You know what I mean? Blackwell 5 from 14. You'd absolutely take that all day for Kevin Willard. And if Winter, goes crazy and nobody else does anything, well, that's how you end up with a victory tonight.
I think a Caden Lewis's stat line, you might look at that and say, 7 and 5 and 2 assists. Couple of steals is when it starts to you perk up a little bit. And then, obviously you watch that game and that he was just absolutely a glove for, the 22 minutes that he was on the floor. He did get into foul trouble. He got into foul trouble before the under 8 in the first half. And then, he got back on the floor in the second half. One of the things that I really like about his game, he doesn't turn the ball over. Lewis will not beat himself, and he will not allow him to be the reason that a possession ends. I'm not saying he always took the best shots, always, but again, like he's not going to turn the ball over. He had no turnovers again tonight. Played great defense. Did the freshman?
They don't have anybody that turns it like. That's weird for a freshman, though, right, Jay? Like, you would expect him.
Right.
Now, the shot diet, right? That some of the shots he's taking, it's like, okay, man. Like
that looks like a freshman.
The shot right before end of regulation. I was like, okay, you can live with that, though. End of regulation, right? But, man, like that's what you'd love to see. Like, you love to see a freshman guard that a 36% assist rate and only a 14% turnover rate and plays solid defense. He has not shot it well from 23% on the year. He's got so much ceiling to go that's why I feel pretty solid. They gotta they got to get some other guys. They got to get some bigs to kind of go with Brennan, man. Matt Hodge, I thought he was solid today. I don't think he's going to be he just has to be himself and play his role. Like, he doesn't need to be anything crazy, but can you get consistency out of him on a nightly basis? He's got to knock down threes. I mean, 35 minutes, 15.6 boards.
Yeah.
You would probably take that every single night just based on what you think his ceiling is. So then get that out of him. Obviously, that's going to play a big factor. But yeah, Duke Brennan's just got to be a dog on the boards, and he's pretty much a dog all night tonight. So yeah, just kudos to Villanova for a tough win tonight.
Yeah, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Show your broskies and basketball some love. Hop on the live chat if you're still hanging out with us. We're going to get you a couple more minutes here of breaking down this 76-66 win for Villanova over Wisconsin. I actually wrote down in my halftime notes, Hodge, great half. I thought he had a really nice first half. And then again, just finding a way to play his role. I thought Hodge, that's what they're going to need from him.
Yeah.
If they're going to be that third best team in the Big East, they're going to need nights like this out of Hodge consistently. But again, Lindsay had 12 points. Not a lot off the bench for Villanova. Askew, one of the most frustrating players in college basketball to watch, had 7. But again, they didn't need it. The starters spread the scoring around so well tonight. They play so well together. That's a team, even though that second half didn't look very easy on the eyes, and for the most part, none of this game did. Like, I was kind of joking around about it. Like, that was it was 50. That score on your screen, 76-66, it was 56 all at overtime, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember, there were 112 points scored in this game before it went to overtime. It wasn't the easiest game to watch, but you did see a side of Villanova that you're going to have to see consistently for them to compete in the Big East. Wisconsin will be okay. They're going to find a way to get it done. Obviously, they know that they're going to need to go through winter. He had a fantastic night. Once again, wanted to make sure that we recognize him with a double-double. Blackwell and Boyd got it going, especially in the second half and overtime. But really nothing else for the Badgers, and that's something that Greg Gard is going to have to get his thumb on. Mike, anything else before we close it out tonight?
Yeah, so Wisconsin, a little bit of a bounce back spot here. You got Central Michigan, you got Milwaukee coming up, and then it gets real. I mean, they're sitting here at 1-1. They beat Northwestern in the Big Ten opener, and then they lost to Nebraska, which everybody seems to lose to Nebraska these days. And then here we go: Purdue, UCLA, Michigan. So yeah, it's going to get real quick for the outlook for this Wisconsin team. Still think they're a tournament team. After that stretch, they get the Minnesota, the Rutgers, the Penn State, right? The bottom of the Big Ten, chalk those up, you know what I mean? But if they need for seeding position and for them to advance a round or two, they're going to need to pick up a couple of big time wins. But their big three is obviously solid. They're going to be, most nights, 2 of those 3 guys are going to have really good games, and that's going to put them in every single game. But yeah, man, they got to find something off the bench. It's just going to be too tough if you're asking those 3 guys to carry the entire season.
Nova's got Seton Hall, DePaul, and Butler in their next 3. So getting a nice win against Wisconsin here in the Milwaukee Hoops Showdown is just what they need to hop into that Christmas week. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight, talking about this 76-66 overtime win for Villanova over Wisconsin. Make sure you hit all those buttons, like, subscribe, notification bells. There's no telling what's going to pop up on the One and Done channel. We got DFS shows. We got live streams of Mountain West games right here on the channel. Simulcast where Mike and I will come on and chat about the games. We've got news and notes. We're doing a little bit game instant reactions. You just watched a great one tonight after a 76-66 win for Villanova over Wisconsin. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. Thanks for our guy, Eric the Blue, for getting the studio ready and pushing those buttons tonight. Good job, as always. Shout out to our guy, Nape, on the moon somewhere. Maybe he's on the space shuttle back. Who knows? Shout out to that man sharing your viewing device screen with me. That's El Capitan around here. You can call him Mike, though, at MC Holland 34 over there on X. My name is Jay Heiner. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Until next time, JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.